Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 guns that I'm going to use in close quarters, and I'm just going to show you the loadout and the bullet spread of each gun. So, first gun is the AEK 971. I'm using the Cobra foregrip and heavy barrel. And now this gun, it has a very, very high rate of fire, not like the FAMAS, because this is way better than the FAMAS, mainly because the FAMAS, since it shoots so fast and the reload is so long. Now this one instead has the fast RPM, and it gets bullets out there. Now the foregrip and the heavy barrel, you might ask, is because the recoil goes up quite a bit, and you guys are going to see that here in a second. I'm just going to show you the aim down sight, while I'm moving, hip fire, and then hip fire while moving, and I'm going to be trying to control the bullets each time. So here's the bullets while I'm trying to control the recoil. Okay. Now this is me aiming down the sight while I'm moving back and forth, also trying to control the spread of the bullets there. This is hip firing while I'm moving. And next is going to be standing still hip firing while I'm just trying to control it. Now we're going to take a good look at these bullet patterns here. Now if you look at this one is very, very tight. And that's just a lot of bullets being put into somebody, especially with that high RPM. Now that's still a good spread, that second one right there. All I was doing was moving side to side, and it's still pretty controlled. Now you got a few outside here to the left there, but that's still okay. A lot of bullets are still going to be hitting your guy. And now this is kind of spread, but up close and close quarters where these guns shine, it should be good. Alright, so next gun. Okay, so next up is going to be the M16A3. Now this is an all-around good gun, so the only thing I'm going to put on is Cobra and heavy barrel, and I don't need foregrip, so I'm just going to go ahead and slap on a bipod, since I mean, if I'm not using a foregrip, I might as well just have something, I guess, and the bipod doesn't affect weight or anything like that. And the reason why I'm not putting foregrip is because the gun is very manageable with recoil at distance, or range, whichever one you prefer. And it's an all-around good gun. So I'm going to go ahead and slap on a Cobra and not a holographic. I don't need the mid to long range, I just need the close range. I'm just going to go ahead and fire a few shots here. That's the sights. And I think it's one of the best guns of the game, personally. It's got a very decent reload, and the damage is par on. 30 round clip as standard. And really, you don't need much. Like I said, you don't need the damn foregrip. And the heavy barrel, that'll just help you at range. And the hip fire accuracy is still semi on par, I guess, even with the heavy barrel. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at these bullet spreads here. Now I didn't really control it that well, but just take those bottom 3 bullets out, and that's what you get. That's pretty spot on just for hip firing. That was moving while hip firing, and that's kind of far off. But in close quarters, you should be good. And these bullets didn't really show up. Oh, there it is. Now they go away again, but you can see while I'm moving, while hip firing, it's not the greatest, but I don't know, out of 10 it'd be like a 6.5 maybe. Anyway, that's that gun for you, and I prefer it a lot, actually. I think it's a great gun myself. So, and yeah, alright, next gun. Okay, so next up is the F2000. Now this gun, in my opinion, is one of the better suited ones for close quarters, whereas the AEK can, and especially the M16A3, can manage shooting at far distances, whereas this one is pretty much good for just mid to close range engagements. Now it'll manage far off as long as you have maybe the holographic on it. ACOG, the kick will just kind of mess you up a little bit. And if you guys didn't know, the F2000 is a bullpup, which means that you can aim down the sight and still move left and right pretty easily around corners, which is very great in close quarters if you're playing on, let's say, like Grand Bazaar or something. So anyway, if you look at that bullet spread right there, it's not spread like crazy. Maybe that one kind of was. But if you think about it, if you're on no shard canals, okay, and you're hip firing in between the crates, a big bullet spread isn't necessarily that bad. And if you look right there, those last 2 aim down the sight ones were pretty spot on, in my opinion. Now if you take a closer look, the bullets are pretty much intact except for that one. They have some ones up top right there and a few below. But right here, these ones are pretty spot on, and it's firing a lot of bullets down range, and that's what you want. And yeah, it'll get you in the kill range where you want. So Pretty great gun in my opinion, and the ADS is quite nice as well. It's pretty fast, and with a holographic, which is what I prefer, it's even better. So, alright, next gun. Next up is the PP19. Now, this was one of the guns that was on the assignment list of guns, like 8 guns or so, to do certain objectives and get certain kills with certain weapons and whatnot. And when I unlocked this gun, I thought it was going to be like MW3s, where it was just a complete rape train. Now, it's good in certain spots, but do not plan on using this in long-range engagements. It is absolutely terrible for that. Now, I have my Cobra slapped on here, and my laser sight, because laser sight is one of my more preferred things. Usually tactical light I don't really use that too much unless it's like No Shark Canals or maybe Rush on Metro. But anyway, so this gun's pretty great. It has a 55 round clip, which is very nice in my opinion. It's a lot less than MW3. We're enough about Call of Duty. So yeah, you can see the bullet spreads here. They're very tight, even with the hip fire and the hip fire while moving. And that's what you really want to see, and that's why I'm showing you guys the bullet spreads of these. The bullet pattern is very, very tight. You can't see it on that door to the right. I really don't know why, but just know that that was the one where I was aiming down the sights still. So you look at that left one right there, third to last, and you just make it tighter, and that's what you get. So yeah, very, very good gun. Last but not least is the M416. Now this is my favorite assault rifle in the entire game, mainly because of its modability and accessibility, because it's very easy to fire. Almost any beginner can fire it. Cobra sight fits very well on it. Normally I have a flash suppressor on it too, and I always have foregrip on it. That's the thing that you kind of need with it, because it's kind of like the M27 IAR. It does have some recoil to it. But mainly, this gun is great in close quarters because it's almost always a kill, like, even if you don't get the first shot, unless it's like a FAMAS or an AEK. That's the only thing that this gun does not have, is the crazy ass rate of fire that normally you would be looking for in close quarters. But it has the reload that is decent. It's not like the FAMAS where it takes almost 4 seconds to reload an entire clip if you shoot 30 bullets, or however many is in your gun at the time. So if you look at the bullet spread here, this is the one where I was aiming down the sight standing, so it's pretty decent, I guess. It's not the best, but it is close quarter, so hip firing is probably what you're going to be doing. That right there also isn't bad. It's pretty tight still. Now that right there, I will admit, is kind of spread, but if you're 5 feet away from a guy, it does connect, especially with a laser sight. And then that is when I was moving. That is what you kind of don't want to do. You just want to be crouched maybe and hip fire. But still, this is my favorite gun in the game, and it definitely knocks people off their ass. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. This took me like an hour to make. Actually, it was pretty simple. So yeah, please subscribe. See you guys next time.